The escape pod drifted through silent space like a broken bone floating in the dark. Its metal shell was torn open, sparks leaking out like dying fireflies. When the United Earth Fleet patrol ship pulled it in, the crew already felt something was wrong. They moved slowly, weapons ready, unsure of what waited inside the pod. Inside, they found the human envoy. He was alive, but barely. His body was twisted, cut, marked with strange patterns that looked like symbols. Not wounds. Commander Rhea Ortiz was the first to step closer. Her face calm, but her eyes sharp. She had seen many horrors in war, but nothing like this. The envoy's breathing cracked like broken glass. He opened one eye, looked at Rhea, and whispered with a shaking voice. They begged for peace. It was all a trap. Do not trust them. Then he went still, and the medical scanners went silent. Everyone in the room felt a cold fear crawl through the air. The Valtherian Dominion had been the ones to ask for peace talks. They said they feared humanity's growing strength. They said they wanted friendship. Now they had returned a mutilated envoy who carried marks like ritual signs. Nothing about this made sense. Rhea ordered the envoy's ship logs to be checked. Most of the data was corrupted, burned, or missing. But a few images were still there. Shapes moving in the dark, tall figures with living armor, glowing eyes and hands shaped like knives. Then one final hidden message played. A voice, weak and desperate, speaking fast. They wanted something from Earth. Something old. Something inside us. Before Rhea could process it, the ship's alarm screamed through the hull. Unidentified ships approaching Sol border, the AI announced. Rhea rushed to the command bridge, her heart pounding but her mind cold and ready. On the screen, Valtherian ships appeared near Earth space, not attacking, just floating like predators waiting in the shadows. Then a message arrived, a soft, calm voice from the Valtherian speaker. We request peace talks again, Earth. Please send another envoy. The crew stared at the screen in silence. They all understood the same terrible truth. The Valtherians were lying. They wanted something, and they would not stop until they got it. Rhea whispered one word under her breath. Prepare. Commander Rhea did not sleep after the envoy's death. She stood in the medical bay, staring at the strange symbols carved into his skin. They were too clean, too precise. Like someone had followed a pattern, the medical AI confirmed it. These marks are not battle injuries, Commander. They match ritual designs. Rhea felt anger rise inside her. Slow and cold, the Valtherians had begged Earth for peace. They had acted afraid, weak, desperate. But now their true face was showing. She ordered a full investigation. Scientists and intelligence officers gathered around the envoy's body. Scanning every cell, every wound, soon they discovered something even worse. Inside the wounds were traces of non-human nanotech. Small machines, so small they looked like dust. The machines were designed to search for something inside human DNA. What were they looking for? Rhea asked. No one had an answer. In the tech lab, the envoy's mission logs were finally decrypted. Corrupted videos flickered to life, full of static and shadows, but a few seconds were clear. They showed Valtherian priests standing around the envoy, chanting in a strange language. Their armor pulsed like living flesh. Their eyes burned with pale blue fire. One priest leaned close to the envoy's face and whispered, "Humanity carries the key. We need their blood before the awakening." Rhea felt her stomach tighten. A key, an awakening, none of it made sense. The Earth Council wanted answers. Some leaders still believed peace was possible. Others wanted revenge. Rhea wanted the truth. She requested permission to confront the Valtherians again. But this time, with full military support, the Council hesitated but agreed. They could not ignore the mutilated envoy or the ritual wounds. Hours later, another alarm rang across Earth Fleet Command. A secret research station on the Outer Rim had gone silent. No signals, no survivors, nothing. Only one message was found burned into a wall. A single sentence, written in human blood. "They are coming for the key." Rhea felt the air around her grow colder. The Valkyrians were not just testing humanity. They were preparing for something far bigger. Something old, something dangerous, something waiting in the dark. She looked out the window at the stars. Her voice was calm, but filled with fire. "We find the truth, or we die." Commander Rhea did not trust the Valkyrians. But she knew she had to meet them again. Earth needed information, not guessing. So the Council approved a second negotiation. This time, Rhea would lead the mission herself. And she would not go alone. A hidden strike team followed her ship in stealth mode. Their orders were simple. If anything looked wrong, they would break in and pull her out. No hesitation, no waiting. The Valkyrian station looked peaceful from the outside. Soft lights, slow movements, calm signals. But Rhea felt something cold under that calm. Something watching her, something waiting, inside the station. The Valkyrian speaker greeted her with a polite bow. His voice was soft, smooth, and full of false respect. "We welcome you again. Commander, we regret the misunderstanding with your first envoy." Rhea did not smile. She only nodded and followed him through the long hall. As she walked, she noticed small things. The walls had a pulse, like beating flesh. The guards wore living armor that shifted and breathed. And the air smelled faintly of metal and blood. She kept her face calm, but inside, she was ready for anything. The negotiation chamber looked normal at first. A round table, soft lights, chairs for both sides. But then Rhea's eyes locked onto a symbol carved into the floor. A circle with sharp lines, the same symbol burned into the envoy's skin. Her heart tightened. This was no meeting room. This was a ritual room. The speaker continued talking. Pretending everything was fine. "We only want peace. We want trust again." But Rhea could now hear something under his voice. A heartbeat, heavy and slow. It was coming from the walls themselves. Then the lights changed. They dimmed. Then shifted to a deep blue. The walls began to move. Twisting like muscles waking up, Rhea stepped back. Her hand already on her weapon, the speaker's calm smile broke into something hungry. "You carry the key, Commander. You all carry it." The floor opened in glowing lines. Forming a symbol that started to burn, the walls closed like a mouth. The entire chamber turned into a giant living trap. Rhea shouted into her "Come, strike team." Now, explosions shook the station as her soldiers blasted through the walls. The negotiation room roared like a living beast in pain. Rhea didn't run. She fought her way toward the exit, firing at the living walls that tried to grab her, but then she felt something deeper. Something huge moving beneath the station, something waking up. And the entire structure began to fall apart from the inside. The Valkyrian station shook like a dying creature. Metal and living tissue cracked open as Rhea and her strike team escaped through collapsing halls. Behind them, blue fire spread through the walls, and the floor trembled like something huge was breathing under it. Rhea jumped onto the extraction shuttle, shouting, "Get us out." Now, the pilot launched the shuttle into space just as the station exploded behind them. A massive shockwave pushed the shuttle forward, and everyone held on as alarms screamed. When Rhea returned to Earth Fleet Command, she wasted no time. She walked straight into the High Council chamber and slammed her report on the table. No more peace talks. "They are hunting us." The council listened in stunned silence as she explained everything. The ritual symbols, the living walls, the nanotech inside the Envoy. And the words of the Valkyrian speaker, "You carry the key. the scientists worked fast. Soon they discovered a hidden truth inside human DNA, a dormant sequence, older than any known species, a signal waiting to awaken, something powerful, something dangerous, something the Valkyrians feared. They want to steal it, one scientist said, and destroy us before it activates. Earth had no choice now. They prepared for war. Not panic, but cold, organized strength. The kind humanity was known for, the United Earth Fleet launched into space with full force. Dozens of battleships, carriers, drone swarms, and AI-guided weapons lit the dark like burning stars. Rhea took command of the flagship, Vanguard, standing tall and calm. Her voice was steady. We fight for survival. We fight for truth. When the human fleet reached the Valkyrian border, the enemy was already waiting. Their ships looked like giant bones wrapped in muscle, alive and moving, but they were not ready for humanity's fury. The first volley hit the Valkyrian ships with brutal precision. Human missiles moved like guided blades. Cutting into living armor, drones swarmed around alien vessels, tearing them apart piece by piece. Every explosion lit the black sky like a rising sun. For the first time, the Valkyrians looked afraid. Their ships began to fall back. Breaking formation, Rhea pushed forward, refusing to let them escape. "This ends now," she said, her voice cold as steel. But then something strange happened. A pulse of energy burst from Rhea's chest, glowing through her armor. Her vision blurred, her heartbeat doubled. The ancient code inside her DNA had awakened. The pulse inside Rhea's chest grew brighter. It spread through her body like liquid fire, warm but powerful. Her hands shook as light moved under her skin, forming thin lines like ancient symbols. The bridge crew stared at her with wide eyes, unsure if she was dying or transforming. Rhea took a slow breath. "I'm fine," she said. Even though she felt anything but fine, her voice sounded deeper, stronger, as if two people were speaking at once. Outside, the battlefield froze for a second. Both human and Valkyrian ships stopped firing, confused by the sudden energy wave. Then every Valkyrian ship began to panic. Their alarms screamed loudly, their captains shouting orders in fear. "It has awakened," one alien voice cried over the comm. "She carries the signal." Rhea looked at the glowing space around her and finally understood. The Valkyrians were not trying to destroy humanity out of hate alone. They were trying to stop something older, something they feared. And that something was connected to humans at Earth Fleet Command. Scientists watched the readings from Rhea's ship. The energy wave was expanding across space. It was not an attack, it was a call, a message sent far beyond the galaxy. In the dark edge of the universe, something answered. Sensors picked up a huge structure activating, larger than any known ship. A megastructure shaped like a ring made of dark metal and burning red light. It began to turn slowly, like a machine waking from a long sleep. Rhea felt a voice inside her mind, soft and ancient. "You have awakened, child of Earth. Prepare for the return." She saw visions of tall beings made of light and shadow. A lost species that once walked the stars, a species whose DNA fragments now lived inside humans. The Valkyrians had feared this moment for thousands of years. Rhea opened her eyes. The vision faded. But the power remained. Humanity was no longer just human. They were becoming something new, something stronger, something ancient. The megastructure on the edge of the galaxy glowed brighter. More shapes moved inside it, preparing to rise into the stars. Rhea stood at the command deck of Vanguard, her eyes glowing with the same ancient light. She looked at the distant structure and spoke with calm fire. "Ready the fleet, if they are coming." "We will be ready."